Hello everyone, welcome to Rayan's classes. This is Tapan and in this video we will discuss current affairs. Okay. In this series we will discuss 300 important current affairs which is important for OPSC, Civil Service Prelims exam 2020 which is going to be held on 27th August 21. All the best for the aspirants. It is also helpful for sub-inspector, RI exams, upcoming exams. This class is in bilingual, that is Odia and English. Okay. Please like, share and subscribe this channel so that it will be helpful to other aspirants in their preparation for exam. So let's start the class. First question is, consider the following statements about quadrilateral coalition. Okay, here you will get two statements. First is, it is a group of 4 nations of Atlantic region. Second statement, China and Russia both are members of this coalition. Okay. Which of the above statement is correct? You have 4 statements. First option, you have 4 options. First option only 1, second option only 2, third option both 1 and 2, and fourth option neither 1 and 2. Focus on the question. It is asking about quadrilateral coalition. Okay. First statement, it is a group of 4 nations of which region? Atlantic region. And countries in second statement, there are 2 countries, China and Russia. You have to select one option among the 4. Okay, let's see the answer. Here answer is D, neither 1, neither 2. Why? Because quadrilateral coalition, or it is known as Quad. Okay. It is a coalition formed by 4 nations to promote peace, security, stability and prosperity. In which region? Indo-Pacific region. Okay. You see here in first statement it is mentioned in Atlantic region, but the correct answer is Indo-Pacific region. And which are the 4 nations? The 4 nations are India, US, Japan and Australia. Here are the 4 flags of the countries: India, US, Australia and Japan. Let's see more about the Quad. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, QSD, known as Quad. It is a strategic dialogue between the United States, Japan, Australia, India, that is maintained by talks between member countries. These are 4 members. What type of cooperations among them? Maritime cooperations among them begin after the Indian Ocean Tsunami 2004. But today, currently, all democracies, vibrant economics work on far broader agenda which includes tackling security, economic and health issues. Okay. The dialogue was initiated in 2007 means quadrilateral secret dialogue. It was started in 2007 by the then Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe with the support of Vice President of USA Dick Cheney. Okay. The then Prime Minister of Australia John Hobart and the then Prime Minister of India Manmohan Singh. Okay, during 2007 the dialogue was started. The four nations conducting joint military exercise known as Malabar exercise. Navies of four countries are participating in the exercise. As a response, this exercise is a response to the increased Chinese economic and military power in which region? In Indo-Pacific region. Okay. So the tension between Quad member it means USA, China, USA, Japan, India and Australia and China. Okay. Quad member and China. The tension between these countries also known as a new Cold War. Okay. It is a new Cold War. So Quad members with representatives from New Zealand, South Korea and Vietnam to discuss their respective approach to the COVID-19 pandemic. Instigated by the US, this new grouping of key Indo-Pacific states was called Quad Plus. It is important, it may come in question that Quad Plus. In Quad Plus, these four nations of Quad, that is USA, Japan, Australia, India, plus the representatives New Zealand, South Korea and Vietnam, all 7 countries known as Quad Plus. However, the Quad's agenda is not all about China. Okay, Quad Plus agenda is not all about totally China against no, but these 4 nations are also working more proactive approach to solving humanitarian and economic challenges caused by COVID-19. Okay, so we will go to the next question. Next question is select the correct statement about GMEX. Okay, GMEX. The options are: it is a multilateral economic forum. It is a bilateral military exercise. It is space agency of Japan. It is collaboration of ISRO and Japanese space agency. Okay, so here you use your mind that EX means exercise and JI it represents Japan, I stands for India. Okay, M stands for maritime. So the answer is B. Okay, so bilateral military exercise. It is a bilateral exercise between Indian Navy and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force in North Arabian Sea. Here you can see the picture that naval forces are conducting the exercise. India and Japan hold joint military maritime exercise in North Arabian Sea, GMEX 2020. Okay. We will see more about GMEX exercise. It is commenced in January 2012 with special focus on maritime security cooperation. Okay, so its focus is to security, to secure the maritime area. It is conducted biennially between Indian Navy and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. Last edition of GMEX was conducted in 2018. Okay, so after 2018, this 2020 GMEX exercise conducted. 2018 exercise was conducted in Visakhapatnam, India. The exercise is taking place in the backdrop of growing concern over China's military muscles flexing in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, Indian Ocean region, China military power जो रही तार काउंटर रे GMEX एक्सरसाइज को कंडक्ट कराइला एज वेल एज इन इंडो पैसिफिक. ओके, नॉट ओनली इंडियन ओशियन रीजन, आल्सो इन इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन. इट इज द फर्स्ट military exercise after the two countries signed a landmark agreement of Acquisition and Cross Servicing Agreement ACSA. एटा क्वेश्चन आसी पारे एग्जाम रे जे व्हाट इज ACSA and between which country the ACSA has been signed. It is India and Japan. What is the benefit of ACSA? Let's see. That will ACSA will allow their militaries to access each other's bases for logistic support. That means Japan can use the logistic support of India and India can also use the logistic support of Japan. Logistic support, that means in wartime Japan can use the land and military equipments of India and India can also and vice versa use the land and bases, military bases and equipments of Japan. Okay. So in July 2020, the Indian Navy carried out a military exercise with USA Navy carrier strike group led by the nuclear powered aircraft carrier USS Nimitz off the coast of Andaman and Nicobar Island. Importance of USS Nimitz. The Nimitz carrier strike group. It is Nimitz carrier strike group led by USS Nimitz is currently deployed to the Indian Ocean in support of a free and open Indo-Pacific. A free and open Indo-Pacific means there is no hindrance, there is no any type of problem, there should be no any type of problems in Indo-Pacific regions. Countries are free to conduct their trade in Indo-Pacific region. Okay. Let's see other military exercise between India and Japan. Okay. So the annual joint land military exercise named Dharma Guardian. It is land military exercise. Joint Air Force exercise Sianu Maitri is joint Air Force exercise. We are discussing about the GMAX where navies are participating and army participating in Dharma Guardian, Air Force Sianu Maitri, and also the trilateral maritime exercise known as Malvar with USA. Let's see the next question. Next question is, which of the following agencies is exploring minerals in Kolar Gold Field? All of you know about Kolar Gold Field. Okay, where it is located and why it is recently in news. Which of the following agencies is exploring minerals in Kolar Gold Field? Okay, so here BEML, NALCO, MECL, HCL. Which agency? The answer is C, MECL, that is mineral exploration started again Kolar Gold Field in Karnataka after 2 years, after 2 decades, and is carried out by Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited. Okay, why it is in news? After 2 decades it is started. Why it is stopped? Let's discuss the matter why it is stopped. So about Kolar Gold Field, it is situated 100 kilometers from Bangalore, which is capital of Karnataka, and over a century the town has been known for gold mining, because Kolar Field is a gold mining, that's why it is known as gold mining. The mine closed on 28th February 2001. Why? Due to fall in gold prices, or the expenditure is more than the revenue collected from the mine, despite gold still being present there. One of India's first power, it is one of India's first power generation unit, was built in 1889 to support mining corporation. It is very important that Kolar Gold Mine, India's first power generation unit, was built here in 1889 to support mining operation. Since mines were shut in Kolar Gold Fields in 2001, the town has received neither electricity. Why this question is, why this matter is reflected here? Because when the Kolar gold mines was running, that time all facilities are available there, electricity, water, because the engineers, laborers are staying there. But after it stopped in 2001, everything, electricity, water, everything was stopped. Okay, so no electricity, no water was available there, and hillocks of toxic residue locally called Kynad hills. Kynad hills माइन्स जो टॉक्सिक रेसिड्यू बाहरतुला सेगुड़ाक सेठी गोटे जगार जेहेतु रखा जाउतला तो से जगह को कह जाए काइनेड हिल्स, जोटा कि बहुत विषाक्त टॉक्सिक। द अनट्रीटेड टॉक्सिक वेस्ट, जो अनट्रीटेड टॉक्सिक वेस्ट एंड्स अप कंटामिनेटिंग लैंड, एयर एंड वाटर, okay, causing harm to the health of the local people. Health of the local people. The KGF was the world's second, it is important that Kolar gold field was the world's second deepest gold mine at depth of 3000 meters. It is world's second deepest gold mine. The mines remained active for 121 years before it experienced any unsystematic closure on February 28, 2001. It was once called Mini England. Why? Because some engineers or laborers there of England, they started the mining. Okay, so they initially developed the mining in that area by staying there, and they collected gold from that place. They exported to their country. Okay, and the KGF was the first Indian city. KGF, Kolar Goldfield, was the first Indian city to be electrified in 1902. The British government had also built a lake to meet the water demand of the area. When the mine was operational, the area didn't experience any power cuts and water shortage. But after the mines closed, the area experienced power cut and water shortage. Okay. But later, after the gold has finished, the area has lost its glitter too, as there is neither proper electricity supply nor drinking water. The laborers who used to work at that time, now they are living in poverty without any financial and health aid from the government. So now the government is announced that to again start the mining process in Kolar gold field. So the agency Mineral Exploration started again mining in the area in Karnataka after 2 decades, and is carried out by after 2 decades, and the mining process will be carried out by Mineral Exploration and Corporation Limited. The next question, consider the following statement about recent flight testing of BrahMos missile. BrahMos missile recent flight testing upper question. So option statement, it was tested with indigenous subsystem. Okay, indigenous subsystem. Second statement, it paved the way for the serial production of the indigenous booster and other indigenous components of BrahMos missile weapon system. The test took place from Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. You have 4 options. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. You have to select the correct answer. Let's see what are the options. The options, first option only 1 and 2, only 1 and 2. Second option only 2 and 3. Third option only 1 and 3, and fourth option 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Let's see the answer. The answer is A. Here the options are only 1 and 2. What one says? It was tested with indigenous subsystem. Recently, BrahMos missile tested with indigenous subsystem. Second, it paved the way for the serial production. If the indigenous subsystem becomes success, then why not we will produce the BrahMos missile from our indigenous product. Okay. So if after it's successful, It paved the way for the serial production of the indigenous booster and other indigenous components of the BrahMos missile weapon system, so that there is no need to depend on other countries. Why the third statement is incorrect? Because the successful flight testing of BrahMos missile with indigenous subsystem took place from Integrated Test Range Baleshwar, Odisha. Okay, ITR. In many places it is written as ITR, so there should be no doubt. ITR means Integrated Test Range. Let's see more about BrahMos. BrahMos missile. Why its name is BrahMos? It is a combination of names of Brahmaputra and Moskva rivers. Brahmaputra is from India and Moskva of Russia. Okay, it is designed, developed and produced by BrahMos Aerospace, joint BrahMos Aerospace. Which is a BrahMos Aerospace? It is a joint venture company set up by Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO and DRDO of India and Machinostroyenia of Russia. Both made it the BrahMos Aerospace. Okay, so various versions of the BrahMos, including those which can be fired from land, warship and submarines, and Sukhoi 30 fighter jets, have already been developed and successfully tested in the past. So the earliest version, which versions are already inducted in our defense forces? Let's see. The earliest version of the ship launched BrahMos for Navy and land based BrahMos for Army, okay, are in service of the Indian Navy and Indian Army since 2005 and 2007. BrahMos, it is a two-stage missile. Okay, the first stage is solid propellant and second is liquid ramjet as the second. The cruise missile like BrahMos are a type of a system known as the stand-off range weapons. Stand-off range weapon means which are fired from a range that is sufficient to allow the attackers to evade defensive fire from the attacker, to evade defensive fire from the adversary. Okay, it means गोटे जगार जदि आम फायर करवा आम पाखे सफिसीयंट टाइम अच्छी जे आम जो एडभर्सरी जो वेपन आम आड़ आसुव से आम इवेड हो पार आम दूर को जापर निजक सुरक्षा दे पार. ओके, द लैंड बेस्ड सिस्टम, लेट्स सी द डिस्कस द थ्री वर्जन्स: लैंड बेस्ड, शिप बेस्ड that is navy, sea based and air based. Okay, the land based BrahMos have been deployed along India's, where it is deployed land based, India's land borders. Borders, that means borders with Pakistan, China. Okay, and ship based, the Indian Navy began inducting BrahMos on its frontline warship from 2005 and has capability to hit sea-based targets beyond radar horizon. So the naval version has been successful time and again, sea to sea and sea to land. That means sea-based BrahMos can be used, can be fired from sea to a sea target and sea to a land target. Okay, the air-launched version on November 22, 2017. Okay, 2017, BrahMos was successfully flight tested for the first time from the IAF frontline fighter aircraft Sukhoi 30 MKI. Sukhoi 30. When for the first time the air version BrahMos was launched in 2017 against a sea-based target in the Bay of Bengal. And the submarine launched version, this version has a capability of being launched from 50 meters below water surface. Below water surface, it means it is water below water 50 meter, from below 50 meter of water surface the missile will be launched underwater. Okay, the canister stored missile is launched vertically, that means vertically from the pressure hull of the submarine, and uses different setting for underwater and out of the water flights. This version was successfully tested fired in March 2013 from a submerged platform of the coast Visakhapatnam. Okay, we will go to the next question. Question number 5 is, who has been appointed as the new chairman of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, which is known as TRAI? We have 4 options. First is R.S. Sharma, second Sunil Kumar Gupta, third G.R. Chintala, and fourth P.D. Bagela. Who has been appointed as the new chairman of TRAI? The answer is D. P.D. Bagela has been appointed as new chairman of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, that is TRAI, after R.S. Sharma demitted office after a 5-year term. Okay, here he is P.D. Bagela. Okay, that person is P.D. Bagela. We will know more about Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. It is a statutory body. Okay, there may be question that whether it is a constitutional body or statutory body. So it is a statutory body set up by the Government of India under section 3 of Telecom Regulatory Authority of India in 1997. It is the regulator of the telecommunication sector in India. A regulator, TRAI is the regulator of telecommunication sector in India. When it was established in 20th February 1997 by an act of Parliament, okay, to regulate telecom services and tariffs in India. Earlier regulation of telecom services and tariffs was overseen by the central government. Before TRAI, it was regulated by central government, but after 1997, the telecom services and tariffs in India is regulated by Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Who are the members? Its members consist of a chairperson. Current chairman of TRAI is P.D. Bagela, who is an IAS officer of Gujarat cadre, batch of 1986. One chairperson and members not more than 2 full-time members. That means 2 full-time members and not more than 2 part-time members. That means 1 or 2 part-time members, 1 or 2 full-time members. Okay. So the TRAI Act was amended by an ordinance effective from 24th January 2000, establishing a telecom disputes settlement and appellate tribunal to take over the adjudicatory and disputes function of a TRAI. Adjudicatory and disputes, by whom it was solved by Telecom Dispute Settlement and Appellate Tribunal. Its mission, what are its mission? Its mission is to create and nurture conditions for the growth of telecommunications in India, and to enable India to have a leading role in the emerging global information society, means IT society. Okay, one of its main objective also is to provide a fair and transparent environment that promotes a level playing field and facilitates fair competition in the market. TRAI regularly issues orders and directions on various subjects such as tariffs, interconnections, quality of service, DTH, direct to home services, and mobile number portability. So here DTH, direct to home DTH, आम मैंने जो घरे लगौती टाटा स्काई, एयरटेल, okay, that is TRAI regularly issues order and directions to the DTH services and MNP, mobile number portability. Okay, let's see the next question. Question number 6. Consider the following statements about Nobel Prize in Medicine 2020. Nobel Prize Medicines in 2020. Who is the winner of Nobel Prize in Medicine 2020. First statement, 3 scientists working in the field of genome editing selected for the award. 3 scientists, or in which ground? Genome editing. The award is jointly set by Herb Welter, Michael Houghton and Charles Rick. Which of the above statements is correct? You have 4 options, only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 and 2. Let's see the answer. The answer is B, only 2. Only 2 is correct. The award is jointly set by Herb Welter, Michael Houghton and Charles Rick. The 2020 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was jointly awarded to Herb Welter, Michael Houghton and Charles M. Rick for the discovery of hepatitis C. For the discovery of hepatitis C virus. Okay. Blood-borne hepatitis caused by hepatitis virus is a major global health problem, that is major cause for cirrhosis and liver cancer. Okay, in global population, all 3 scientists through their studies led to discovery and identification of novel virus. Let's see more about the novel virus hepatitis C. Hepatitis C is a liver infection. Which part of our body? Liver infection that can lead to serious liver damage. Hepatitis C. It is caused by the hepatitis C virus. About 3.9 million people in the US have the disease. Okay, but it causes few symptoms, so most of them don't know. The virus spreads through an infected person. How it spreads? It spreads through an infected person's blood or body fluid. Blood or body fluids. There are many forms of the hepatitis C virus or HCV. The most common in the US is type 1. Stages of hepatitis C. Let's see the stages of hepatitis C. First is incubation period. So this is the time between the first exposure, to the start of the disease. It can last anywhere from 14 to 80 days. Okay, but the average is 45. And acute hepatitis C. This is a short-term illness that lasts for the first 6 months after the virus enters your body. And the third one is a chronic hepatitis C. For most people who get hepatitis C, up to 85%, the illness moves into a long-lasting stage, longer than 6 months. So this is called a chronic hepatitis C infection, and it can lead to serious health problems like liver cancer or cirrhosis. So liver cancer or cirrhosis makes liver cancer more likely. Next question. Before going to next question, we will also discuss, as the last question is about relevant to Nobel Prize. So we will discuss about Nobel Prize. So Nobel Prize, any of the prizes 5 in number until 1961 that are awarded annually from a fund kept for that purpose by the Swedish inventor and industrialist Alfred Nobel. The Nobel Prizes are widely regarded as the most prestigious award given for intellectual achievements in the world. In the world. Alfred Nobel. The Nobel Prize is named after Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel, he made a will. In that will, he drafted, which was drafted in 1895. So Nobel instructed that most of his fortune be set aside as a fund for the awarding of 5 annual prizes. Initially, there are 5 categories for Nobel Prize, but later, After 1969, another category is added to Nobel Prize category. For whom that Nobel Prizes are, to whom it was rewarded? To those who during the preceding year shall have conferred the greatest benefit on mankind, okay, greatest benefit on mankind. So these prizes as established by his will are Nobel Prize for Physics, Nobel Prize for Chemistry, Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine, Nobel Prize for Literature, and the Nobel Prize for Peace. So the first distribution of the prizes took place on December 10, 1901. When the first distribution of the prize done? It was done on December 10, 1909. The 5th anniversary, December 10, 1909, which was the 5th anniversary of Nobel's death. So an additional award, the Vergiges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel was established in 1968 by the Bank of Sweden and was first awarded in 1969. So Nobel Prize in Economics first awarded in 1969. Although not technically a Nobel Prize, it is identified with the award. Its winners are announced with the Nobel Prize receipt, and the prize in economic sciences is presented at the Nobel Prize award ceremony. Okay. As it added in the Nobel Prize category later. After Nobel's death, the Nobel Foundation was set up to carry out the provisions of his will and to administer his funds. After death of Alfred Nobel, the Nobel Foundation was set up. गोटे नोबेल फाउंडेशन सेटअप करागला आल्फ्रेड नोबेल डेथ पर टू कैरी आउट द प्रोविजन्स ऑफ हिज बिल. से जो बिल करथिले से बिल की कैरी आउट करने तार प्रोविजन को कैरी आउट करने एवं दोज आर द इंटेलेक्चुअल पर्सन्स वर्किंग फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ मैनकाइंड से को रिवार्ड करने जो तांकर बिल प्रिपेयर होता तांकर जो फंड को यूटिलाइज करा जाउथला ताकू कंटिन्यू आफ्टर हिज डेथ ताकू कंटिन्यू करने बोलिकी नोबेल फाउंडेशन ना रे गोटे फाउंडेशन सेटअप करागला. In his bill he had stipulated that four different bill races mention करथले four different institutions, 3 Swedish and 1 Norwegian should award the prizes. From Stockholm, the Royal Swedish Academy of Science confers the prize for physics, chemistry and economics. The Karolinska Institute confers the prize for physiology or medicine, and the Swedish Academy confers the prize for literature. The Norwegian Nobel Committee, based in Oslo. Norwegian Nobel Committee, where it is based? It is in Oslo. Confers the prize for peace. Okay, which committee? Question may be asked: which committee confers the prize for Nobel Prize for Peace? That is Norwegian Nobel Committee. The winners are announced. The winners are announced in the month of October and November in every year. And next question: who among the following received Nobel Prize in Physics 2020? No. Option A, Charles Crick, B, Michael Houghton, C, Herbert Alter, D, Roger Penrose. The answer is D, Roger Penrose, who received Nobel Prize in Physics 2020. Here are the three persons. Those are received the Nobel Prize in Physics 2020. Roger Penrose, Reinhard Genzel, Andrea Ghez. The Royal Swedish Academy of Science announced to award the Nobel Prize in Physics 2020 to Roger Penrose, Reinhard Genzel and Andrea Ghez. Next question. Yes, one more thing so you have to discuss. They are received Nobel Prize in Physics for their work on black hole. So we will also discuss some more things about black hole. What is black hole? Black hole, it is a cosmic body of extremely intense gravity. Black hole होची गोटे होल स्पेस रो गोटे होल गोटे एरिया जोटा कि तार ग्राविटी बहुत इंटेंस होता है, तार ग्राविटी बहुत इंटेंस होता है, फ्रॉम विच नथिंग नॉट इवन लाइट कैन एस्केप, जो टू तार जो होल थाए से लाइट भी एस्केप करि परिबनी. ओके, सो ए ब्लैक होल कैन बी फॉर्म्ड बाय द डेथ ऑफ ए मैसिव स्टार. गोटे मैसिव स्टार जो स्टार अच्छे स्पेस रे मैसिव स्टार डेथ पर ब्लैक होल क्रिएट होता है. ओके, so when such a star has exhausted the internal thermonuclear fuels in its core at the end of its life, the core becomes unstable and gravitationally collapses inwards upon itself and the star's outer layer are blown away. So the crushing weight of constituent matters falling in from all sides compresses the dying star to a point of zero volume and infinite density called singularity. Okay, singularity, it is a word used by Albert Einstein. Detail of the structures of the black hole are calculated from Albert Einstein's general theory of Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. Okay, so black hole, structure of black hole, question may be asked. Structure of a black hole are calculated from the Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity. Only the most massive stars, okay, not black hole. Black hole cannot form by all stars. Only the most massive stars, those of more than 3 solar masses, become black holes at the end of their lives. Stars with a smaller amount of mass evolve into less compressed bodies, either white dwarf or neutron stars. Okay, white dwarf or neutron stars. Those were small stars, small size stars. Black holes usually cannot be observed directly. Black holes cannot be, usually we cannot see or we cannot observe black holes normally. So on account of both their small size and the fact that they emit no light, because they emit no light, how can we observe? We can observe by the effect of their enormous gravitational field on nearby matter. Gravitational fields on nearby matter, तार पाखापाखि जो मैटर थिबो से मैटर एवं ब्लैक होल रो भीतर थिबा जो ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड को केवल आमे ऑब्जर्व करि परिबा. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग पेयर हैज बीन चोजन फॉर नोबेल प्राइज इन केमिस्ट्री 2020? ऑप्शन ए एमिनुएल चार्पेंटर एंड एंड्रिया गेज. ऑप्शन बी रेनहार्ड गेंजल एंड एंड्रिया गेज. Option C, Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna. D, Charles Emmerich and Jennifer Doudna. The answer is, this year chemistry Nobel Prize has been announced by the Royal Swedish Academy of Science for gene editing studies. For why they are rewarded Nobel Prize in chemistry? For their work gene editing studies. Emmanuel Charpentier from the Max Planck Unit for the Science of Pathogens, Berlin, Germany, and Jennifer A. Doudna of University of California, Berkeley, USA were chosen for the prestigious award. So this is the, here it can be common question. This is the first time that two women jointly won a Nobel Prize in chemistry. Okay, so এটা ଗୋଟେ important question ଆସିପାରେ exam ରେ, this is the first time that two women jointly won a Nobel Prize in chemistry. The next question, read the following statements. First statement is, world's longest highway tunnel inaugurated in Manali. And second statement, the tunnel is named after former prime minister. Which of the above statement is correct? Option A, only one. Option B, only two. Option C, both 1 and 2. And option D, neither 1 and 2. I think बहुत पिला एटा को मन पकाउथिबे जे मनाली रे फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर ना रे गोटे टनल वर्तमान इनॉग्रेट होइछि तो व्हिच इज वर्ल्ड्स लॉन्गेस्ट हाईवे टनल. लेट्स सी द आंसर. Here is the tunnel. Okay, Atal tunnel. The answer is B, only 2. The tunnel is named after former Prime Minister. World's longest highway tunnel inaugurated in Manali is wrong. Because the world's longest highway tunnel opens inaugurated in Rohtang, not in Manali. It is Rohtang. The tunnel in named Atal tunnel. The tunnel is named Atal tunnel after former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Why we will discuss later. Okay. So its distance is 9.02 kilometers long tunnel, and it will connect to Manali of Himachal Pradesh to Lahaul Spiti Valley. Let's see the answer about Atal tunnel. The construction of Atal tunnel connecting Manali with Leh, which is world's longest highway tunnel, above 10,000 feet, longest highway tunnel above 10,000 feet, has been completed in a span of 10 years. Okay, it is a horseshoe shaped single tube. It is a horseshoe shaped single tube double lane tunnel. Okay, double lane, has many firsts. It is also country's first tunnel to have an escape tunnel within the main tunnel. Okay, जो main tunnel अच्छी से main tunnel with मझिरे ही गोटे escape tunnel अच्छी. Okay, which is first tunnel, country's first tunnel because of the topography. This is also the first tunnel to deploy the RoboFlyer technology, which allows the engineer to work at inverted levels. So it is the world's longest highway tunnel connecting Manali with Leh. Distance of the tunnel 9 km. It certains the distance, how it is benefited, how it will be benefited, or it is benefit to the local people. Okay, or those who are using the tunnel. It certains the distance between Manali and Leh by 46 km and drive time around 7 hours reduced time. The tunnel is providing all weather connectivity. You can go through the tunnel any time to remote border areas of Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh, which otherwise remains cut off from the rest of the country for about 6 months during winter. Okay, so after the tunnel there will be no problem to there will be no cut off between the Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh. Atal tunnel will be not only important from the strategic point of view, it is also important from the strategic point of view, but also give a boost to tourism. What you are thinking about strategic point of view? Strategic point of view, it means military strategic point of view, how it helps to protect our country, how we use it to when our forces are moved from one place to another through the tunnel. Boost the tourism in Lahaul Spiti, creating employment opportunities. If tourism is developed, then obviously the local people will be engaged in the tourism sector and employment must be created. So the tunnel provides a telephone facility. Telephone facility on every 150 meter. In every 150 meter inside the tunnel you will get the telephone facility. Then fire hydrant on every 60 meters. Emergency exit on every 500 meter. If anything happen, then we can exit from the tunnel in 500 meter. Turning cover on every 2.2 km. Air quality monitoring on every 1 km. Broadcasting system and automatic incident detection system with CCTV camera on every 250 meters. CCTV camera also installed in every 250 meters. The Union government named the strategic tunnel under the Rohtang Pass in Himachal Pradesh after former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Why? In a tribute to him on his 95th birth anniversary. Question asipare, in which birth anniversary the Atal tunnel inaugurated? It is 95th birth anniversary of Atal Bihari Vajpayee when the Atal tunnel has been inaugurated. The decision to construct a strategic tunnel below the Rohtang Pass was taken on June 3, 2000. Why it is named after Atal? Because Atal Bihari Vajpayee was taken the decision to construct the tunnel, okay, when he was Prime Minister. Next is the next question. Question number 10 is, RISE 2020 is centered on which of the following fields? It means RISE 2020 relevant to which option? Option A, artificial intelligence, B, blockchain technology, C, ethical hacking, and D, World Wide Web. Let's see the answer. From here, from this picture, I think you can guess the answer. What will be the answer? Okay, so answer is A. RISE 2020 is centered on artificial intelligence. The theme of the summit is Responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment 2020. The summit was organized by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MeitY, and Niti Aayog. By whom the summit organized? By the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Niti Aayog. Let's see more about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, it is considered to be the next giant technology. Next giant technological leap similar to electricity and the internet. Why it is compared to electricity and internet? Without electricity today we can't live a second. In every moment we need electricity. That's like internet also. Now today everyone is using internet, and without internet people are boring. Okay, so artificial intelligence also like that. Artificial intelligence possessing the power to radically transform the economic and social fabric of the world we live in. It's time to ask, how can we use artificial intelligence responsibly for the good of humanity, for the good wellness of humanity, and for inclusive social and economic development? How we use the artificial intelligence for our prosperity? So the responsible Artificial Intelligence for Social Empowerment RISE 2020 Virtual Summit is a global artificial intelligence summit. It is not national, it is global, organized by Government of India in partnership with industry and academia. So it is question asipare, it is important that RISE 2020, that is Responsible AI for Social Empowerment Summit, is a global intelligence. It is organized by Government of India with partnership of industry and academia. It is inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi when it was inaugurated October 5, 2020. The summit is a global meeting of minds to exchange ideas of a charter, a course to use artificial intelligence for social empowerment, inclusion and transformation in key areas like healthcare, agriculture, education, smart mobility amongst other sectors. Okay, so how we use artificial intelligence to develop more in the healthcare sector agriculture sector, education sector, and smart mobility amongst other sectors. Okay. Next answer. Next question. Which is the first state in the India to make its public school completely digital? Currently, everyone wants a digital classroom, and the parents also thinking that they will engage their students in digital online classrooms. So, which state became the first state to make its public school completely digital? Options: Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Gujarat. It's not Kerala, it is Kerala. Okay, Kerala. The answer is Kerala. Kerala has become the first state. Important question. Kerala has become the first state in India to make its public school completely digital. All the public education schools were converted to digital under the support of KITE, Kerala Infrastructure and Technology for Education, and KIIFB. Okay, let's see the next question. The next question is question number 12. Recently, who among the following launched Tech for Tribal initiative? Okay, so you have 4 options: TRIFED, IIT Kanpur, Chhattisgarh MFE Federation, all of the above. Out of the 4 options, you have to choose one, or option D, all of the above. The answer is D, all of the above. The Tech for Tribal initiative is launched by TRIFED, that is Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India, and IIT Kanpur and Chhattisgarh MFP Federation. That means it is launched by all the 3 agencies. Okay, so it is a game changing and unique project. It is a game changing and unique project aimed to transform 5 crore tribal entrepreneurs with an objective to imparting entrepreneurship skills. Okay, to tribal forest produce gatherers enroll under the Ban Dhan Yojana. The trainees will undergo a 30 days training program over 6 weeks comprising 120 session. ए क्वेश्चन रे सिमिलर क्वेश्चंस कौन आसी परिवो? ये जो 3टा ऑप्शन हला 3टा ऑप्शन रे अदर ऑप्शन भी ऐड हो परिवो. सेकंड इज ट्राइबल रो आर ऑब्जेक्टिव जो टेक फॉर ट्राइबल इनिशिएटिव रो ऑब्जेक्टिव कौन? टू इम्पार्टिंग एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्किल्स टू ट्राइबल फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस गैदरर्स. ओके, एटा को योजना सहित इट इज रिलेटेड टू व्हिच योजना? इट इज रिलेटेड टू बंधन योजना. ओके, next question number 13. Recently, who among the following has launched the impact based cyclone based warning system? Impact based cyclone based warning system. Who among the following launched? Option Indian Navy, option B World Meteorological Organization WMO, option C Indian Meteorological Department IMD, and option D DRDO. Answer is option C, Indian Meteorological Department has launched the impact based cyclone based warning system. It is the logo of Indian Meteorological Department. Why it is launched? It is launched to reduce economic losses and property damage which is caused due to cyclones that hit India or Indian coast every year. Everyone knows that India is a cyclone prone country. Okay, so what we will do to reduce the economic losses and property damage in our country from the impact of cyclones? By launching this cyclone based warning system, we can aware ourselves to prevent economic loss and damage of property. Okay, let's see more about Indian Meteorological Department. So Indian Meteorological Department, it is an agency. It is an agency of which ministry? It is an agency of Ministry of Earth Science. Okay, Ministry of Earth Science of the Government of India. It is the principal agency responsible for meteorological observation, weather forecasting and seismology. 3. It is responsible for meteorological observation, that means meteorological observe करिवा, and weather forecasting जोटा हमरो आज खरा पाग हबो किबा वर्षा हबो, आज क्लाउडी वेदर रहबो, it forecasting weather, and seismology. So IMD is headquartered in Delhi. The headquarter of IMD, where it is situated? It is situated in Delhi and operates 100 of observation stations across India and Antarctica. So the observations in which area is also beyond India, in which area the observations of Indian Meteorological Department is situated, that is in Antarctica. Regional offices except Delhi, besides Delhi, the regional offices are situated in Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata, Nagpur, Guwahati and New Delhi. So IMD is also one of the 6 regional specialized meteorological center of the World Meteorological Organization. Okay. So if question arises, what are the 6 regional, and IMD is among them in the 6 regional specialized meteorological center. It has the responsible for forecasting, naming and distribution of warnings for the tropical cyclones in the northern Indian Ocean region, including the Malacca Strait, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf. तो आमर जिते बड़े गोटे साइक्लोन होची जेमती हुडुहुडु टिटली साइक्लोन होची, जो साइक्लोन को जो नेमिंग दिया जाउची, it is also the responsible of IMD. The first meteorological observations were established in India by British East India Company. Important question, first meteorological observation कहा द्वारा हेइतिला सेटअप, that is by British East India Company. These included the Calcutta Observatory in 1785, Madras Observatory in 1796, Colaba Observatory in 1826. These are situated in 3 places. Okay, 3 places. After a tropical cyclone hit Calcutta in 1864 and the subsequent famines in 1866 and 1871, due to the failure of the monsoons, it was decided to organize the collection and analysis of meteorological observation under one roof. Okay, under one roof. Before that, there are 3 places where the observatory are situated, but after that, Calcutta in 1814, after the cyclone hit Calcutta in 1864 and famines in 1866 and 1871, it is decided to bring the observations under one roof. As a result, Indian Meteorological Department was established in 1875. Okay. Henry Francis Blandford. Henry Francis Blandford was appointed as the first meteorological reporter of the IMD. In May 1889, Sir John Elliott was appointed the first Director General of Observatories in the erstwhile capital Calcutta. The IMD headquarters were later shifted to Simla in 1905. First, the headquarters was in Calcutta. Okay. IMD headquarter, first headquarter situated in Calcutta. Later it was shifted to Simla in 1905, then to Pune in 1928, then finally to New Delhi in 1944. So presently the headquarter of India Meteorological Department situated in Delhi, but it first located in Calcutta and shifted to second Simla, then again shifted to Pune, then finally it is in New Delhi. So IMD became a member of the World Meteorological Organization. When it became the member of World Meteorological Organization? That after independence, 27th April 1949. The agency has gained in prominence. Why this agency gained prominence? Because due to the significance of the monsoon range on Indian agriculture. Okay, as our country is agricultural country, so the importance of meteorological department is high. Okay, so it plays a vital role in preparing the annual monsoon forecast as well as the tracking the progress of the monsoon across India every season. The next question: what is the rank of India in CRI 2020? What is the rank of India? CRI index, whether it is 155, 117, 99, 129. The answer is D, 129. 129 is the rank of India in CRI index. What is CRI? CRI means commitment to reducing inequality. Commitment to reduce inequality among the citizen of a country. Reduce inequality. That means to provide equal opportunity to all. Okay, the CRI Index 2020 is released by Oxfam International and Development Finance International. India has been ranked 129th position among 155 countries. Okay, so let's see about CRI index and the released organization Oxfam International and Development Finance International. So the index ranked countries measuring their policies and actions in three areas. Okay, three areas that it said are proven to be directly related to reducing inequality in public services, that is health, education, social protection. Okay, the three areas, health, education and social protection. Taxation, workers' rights. Okay, and taxation and workers' rights. Nigeria, Bahrain and India, which experienced the world's fastest growing outbreak of COVID-19, were among the world's worst performing countries in tackling inequality going into the pandemic. That means the performance of India also worst in the ranking. India's position on the index: India ranked 129 out of the 158 countries in government policies and actions in areas of public services of education, health, social protection, taxation and workers' rights. Taxation means whether all the deserving taxpayers, whether they are paying tax or not. And workers' right, that means workers are getting their wages as per legal or not. Okay. The highest presence of the informal sector for men was in Uttar Pradesh. It is the place where the highest presence of informal sector is existing. And for women it is Andhra Pradesh. That means informal sector means they are engaged in an informal way. They are not getting their salary, they are not getting their privileges. Okay, so some recent Indian initiatives to reduce inequality. What are the recent initiatives of India to reduce inequality, to improve the ranking? Increase allocation for health in budget 2021-22, that is 137%. हेल्थ ग्राउंड रे एलोकेशन जो हमर बजेट रे अछि अधिक इन्वेस्टमेंट करिबा हेल्थ रे टू इम्प्रूव द हेल्थ सेक्टर. एंड डायरेक्ट टैक्स विवाद से विश्वास एक्ट 2020, so to provide for resolution for pending tax disputes. जो टैक्स डिस्प्यूट अछि ताकू सेट आउट करिबा. ट्रांसपेरेंट टैक्सेशन honoring the honest platform to honor the honest taxpayers. Those who are paying the tax honestly, they should be rewarded, they should be honored. Introduced industrial, and also India introduced 4 codes, that is Industrial Relation Code 2020, that are for labor code, also known as labor code. Industrial Relation Code 2020, Code on Social Security and the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code. Okay, so these are the initiatives of India to reduce inequality. Next question, before going to next question, we also discuss about Aksham International, which released the CRI report. Okay, about Aksham International, it is a group of independent non-governmental organization. That means it is an NGO formed in 1995. The name Aksham comes from the Oxford Committee for Famine Relief, founded in Britain. Where it is founded? In Britain. In which year? Founded in 1942. The group campaigned for food supplies to starving women and children in enemy occupied Greece during the Second World War. The group campaigned for food supply to starving women and children in enemy occupied Greece. Greece रे जेतेबेले enemy occupied कर सारथिले सेतेबेले जो women and children थिले सेमानकु food provide करथला during Second World War. It also aims to maximize efficiency and achieve greater impact to reduce global poverty and injustice. The Aksham International Secretariat is based in Nairobi, Kenya. It is important where the Secretariat of Aksham International is situated, that is Nairobi, Kenya. Other reports. What are the other reports which is released by Aksham International? That are the Global Inequality Crisis Report. The Global Inequality Crisis Report, which is released in January 2021, claimed that India's richest 1% hold more than 4 times the wealth held by the bottom 70% of the country's population. Okay, जो धनी श्रेणी लोक 1% अच्छी से गरीब श्रेणी जो बटम 70% फ्रॉम द बटम 70% वेल्थ को 1% रखिंट. ओके, so the second report is the Inequality Virus Report, released in January 2021, also found that COVID pandemic deeply increased the existing inequalities. It increased the existing inequalities in India and around the world. Clear? The next question number 15, option B, Pratyush Cray XC40, option C, Mihir Cray XC40, option D, Pranay Siddhi AI. The answer is A, Param Siddhi AI. Okay, so let's elaborate the answer. The Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDEC, it is known as CDEC, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, has announced that it will be commissioning India's largest HPC AI supercomputer named as Param Siddhi AI. Param Siddhi AI. It is the supercomputer of largest HPC AI supercomputer of India. Okay, important. Param Siddhi AI. Param. Let's see more about CDEC and the supercomputer of India, Param. The Center for Development Advanced Computing, CDEC, is an Indian Autonomous Scientific Society. It is an Indian Autonomous Scientific Society operating under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Okay, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Further information is supercomputing in India and about Param. So CDEC was created. When CDEC was created? It was created in November 1988. Originally as a Center for Development of Advanced Computing Technology, CDEC. So this was in response to issues purchasing supercomputers. Why it was created? Because this was in response to issues purchasing supercomputers from United States of America after being denied a Cray supercomputer by the United States in 1988 due to military use concerns. India started program to develop an indigenous supercomputer, and CDEC was created as indigenous supercomputer, and CDEC was created as part of this program. Okay, so जेतेबेले 1988 रे इंडिया चाहिला यूएस रो गोटे सुपर कंप्यूटर परचेज करिया पय मिलगरी, बट सेतेबेले यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स जेतेबेले डिनाई करथिला सेल करिया पय मिलगरी ड्यू टू मिलिटरी यूज कंसर्न्स. सो इंडिया तार प्रोग्राम को से इंडिजिनस सुपर कंप्यूटर बनाया पय प्रोग्राम डेवलप करथिला, एंड CDEC वाज क्रिएटेड. सेतेबेले CDEC क्रिएट करायतला एज ए पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम. ओके, सो हियर supercomputers were considered a double-edged weapon capable of assisting the development of nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons develop करिबारे supercomputers नो help था. Okay, use करा जाय था. So Dr. Vijay Bhatkar was hired as the director of CDEC. A prototype computer was benchmarked at 1990. जेतेबेले क्रे कंप्यूटर को यूएसए पर सेल करबा पय डिनाई करथला, सेतेबेले गोटे प्रोटोटाइप कंप्यूटर वाज बेंचमार्क करथला 1990 रे एट ज्यूरिक सुपर कंप्यूटिंग शो. 1988 रे स्टार्ट करथला, देन 1990 रे डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करथला ज्यूरिक सुपर कंप्यूटर शो रे दैट इंडिया हैड द सेकंड मोस्ट पावरफुल publicly demonstrated supercomputer in the world after the United States. United States pore the second country jota ki demonstration jo show karthila supercomputer, that is India. The final result of the effort was Param 8000 released in 1991. So Param 8000 is the first supercomputer of India, that is Param 8000, released in 1991. It is considered to be India's first supercomputer. The National Center for Software Technology, Electronic Research and Development Center and CEDTA were merged into CDEC in 2003. Which are the agencies merged? That is National Center for Software and Technology, Electronic Research and Development of a Center, and CDTI were merged into CDEC. Okay, the next question number 16. Who among the following has been awarded into 2020 Nobel Prize for Literature? Option A, Louis Gluck. Option B, Peter Handke. Option C, Michael Hutchison. Option D, Merrick Lucas Reisneveld. The answer is Louis Gluck. Option A. Okay. Option A. Louis Gluck. This is Louis Gluck. 2020 Nobel Prize for Literature has been awarded to American poet. This belongs to which country? American poet Louis Gluck. She is the fourth woman to win the Nobel Literature Prize in the past decade. In the past decade, she is the fourth woman to win Nobel Literature Prize. Next question. Name India's first indigenous anti-radiation missile, which was recently test-fired by DRDO. Which is India's first indigenous anti-radiation missile? Okay, we will discuss which is the first indigenous anti-radiation missiles of India and what is anti-radiation missiles. You have four options. Option A, whether option A Surya, option B Akash, option C Rudram, option D Dhruv. The answer is C Rudram. The Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO, successfully test-fired Rudram 1. Rudram 1 is a new generation anti-radiation missile. It has a speed of Mach 2 or 2 times the sound speed. Okay, let's see more about Rudram and about anti-radiation missiles. About anti-radiation missiles, its aim. What is the aim of anti-radiation missiles? Radiation, we know that radiation, as we know always, that mobile also emitting radiations. So these are designed to detect. These anti-radiation missiles are designed to detect, track, and neutralize the adversary's radar. That means opponent's radar, communications assets, and other radio frequency sources, which are generally part of their air defense system. But opponent country, India's opponent country, China and Pakistan ro radar communication assets and radio frequency which are Pakistan used for their air defense system, in their air defense system. If we have to crack that system to attack in any part of the Pakistan, then anti-radiation missile will be used. Okay, so these can locate and target any radiation emitting source. So anti-radiation missile कौन करिवो ना locate करिवो and target, ताकू locate करिवो and target करिवो any radiation emitting source. जदि गुटे जगह रे radars अच्छी, communication assets अच्छी and radio frequency अच्छी, that means से जगह रे radiation भी अच्छी, तो ये anti-social anti-radiation missiles ये ताकू locate करिवो and target करिवो. This can play a key role in neutralize करिवारे key role and any jamming platforms of the enemy or take out radar stations, thereby clearing a path for own fighters to carry out an offensive and also prevent own system from being jammed. तो ये कौन करिवो, ये मिसाइल लॉन्च करिवा द्वारा आमे अदर ओपोनेंट रो जो जामिंग प्लेटफॉर्म अछि, जो प्लेटफॉर्म द्वारा एनी अदर प्लेटफॉर्म जोडा अछि, जोडा द्वारा सी ओपोनेंट निजो को प्रोटेक्ट करछि, तार हम प्रोटेक्ट डिवाइस को आमे ताकू न्यूट्रलाइज करि परिबा, सो दैट सी ओपोनेंट कंट्री हमरो एक्शन विषय रे किछि भी खबर पाइबनी किबा सी हमको टारगेट करि परिबो नाही. ठीक अछि. Let's see know about Rudram. Rudram, it is an air to surface missile. That means it will be fired from an aircraft. Okay, designed and developed by DRDO. DRDO conducted a successful test of new generation anti-radiation missiles Nagaram, also called the Rudram 1, at the integrated test range in Baleshwar. Where it is launched? It is launched in Baleshwar, Odisha. It is the first indigenous anti-radiation missile of the country. Important, it is the first indigenous anti-radiation missile, Rudram. Its capability, once the missile locks on the target, once it locked, it is capable of striking accurately even if the radiation source is switched off इन बिटवीन वन्स एटा फायर हला परे जदि ओपोनेंट कंट्री रो रेडिएशन तांको जो कम्युनिकेशन एसेट अच्छे कि जो टार्गेट अच्छी जदि ता रेडिएशन सोर्स बंद हो जाए तथापि ये एक्यूरेट टार्गेट हिट करिवो ठीक है। ऑपरेशनल फीचर्स द मिसाइल इंटीग्रेटेड विथ Su-30 Mk-1 aircraft has a capability of varying ranges based on the launch conditions. It can be adapted for launch from other fighter jets too. It can be launched from altitudes of 500 meters to 15 kilometers and speeds up to 0.6 to 2 Mach. Its significance, it has been developed for the Indian Air Force requirement to enhance its suppression of enemies air defense SEAD suppression of enemy air defense capability opponent किंबा enemy रो air defense को ब्रेक करिवारे इंडियन एयर फोर्स द्वारा ए मिसाइल को यूज करा दिबो ठीक अछि। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 18 व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेट्स रिसेंटली लॉन्च्ड द मुख्यमंत्री स्वरोजगार योजना सौर मुख्यमंत्री सौर स्वरोजगार योजना हियर सौर means solar okay so options are Maharashtra Uttarakhand Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat which states recently launched the Mukhyamantri Saura Swarojgar Yojana the answer is Uttarakhand CM okay Uttarakhand CM the government of Uttarakhand answer B government of Uttarakhand launched Mukhyamantri Saura Swarojgar Yojana. The yojana is launched with an aim to boost self-employment capability in youth and promote the production of green energy to produce green energy by installation of solar energy production systems okay. So let's see know something more about Mukhyamantri Saura Swarojgar Yojana. The aim of the scheme is to promote the production of green energy. What is the aim? The aim is to produce green energy and to provide self-employment to the local people, to the youth of the state and returning to the local people and the returning migrants. Each beneficiary of this scheme will be allocated solar plants of 25 kilowatt and 10,000 people will get self-employment under this scheme. So this scheme is related to the scheme is relevant to green energy and self-employment okay. It is not only green energy but also it is given importance to self-employment. With the installation of solar panels for integrated farming, fruits, vegetables and herbs can be produced on the same land जो land रे solar panels installation हबो से land रे ही integrated farming भी ही परिवो ठीक अछि। Seeds of climate based medicinal and spongy plants will be provided on free of cost on the land to be set up जो land रे solar panel setup करावा सेठी जो climate based medicinal and spongy plants तो seed को free of cost रे provide करा जिवो। The scheme aims to allocate 10,000 project. The scheme aims to allocate 10,000 project to eligible applicants. Okay. The beneficiaries can take a loan. The beneficiaries can take loan from private or national banks. The private banks will give loan for the scheme for a period of 8 years. For a period of 8 years at the interest of 8%. It is important. So Mukhyamantri Saura Swarojgar Yojana रे जो नेशनल किंबा प्राइवेट बैंक लोन देबे for what period? For 8 years and what is the rate of interest? It is also 8%. Next question number 19. Second World Curtain Day 2020. Second World Curtain Day 2020 has been awarded to which of the following dates? It is the option are October 7, October 15, September 7 and September 15. Okay. let's see the answer. World Cotton Day. Okay, the answer is October 7. The second World Cotton Day was observed at the initiative of the Cotton 4, that is Benin, Burkina Faso, Chad and Mali. These are the important cottons. So they are the group of these important cottons is known as Cotton 4, and the World Cotton Day is observed by the World Trade Organization on 7th October 2020. Let's see more about World Cotton Day. Okay, it's related to Indian cotton. On that day, what happened in India also? On 7th October 2020, Union Textile Minister launched the logo and brand for Indian cotton as Kasturi cotton on the day of World Cotton Day 2020. Celebration of World Cotton Day launched by World Trade Organization in the year 2019. Okay, that means first celebration done in 2019, and it is the second World Cotton Day in 2020. Now, after launch of the logo and brand, Indian premier cotton is known as Kasturi cotton. Okay, involved as identity of Indian cotton. Okay, so the scientific name of cotton plant is Gossypum hirsutum. Gossypum hirsutum is the scientific name of cotton plant, and it is a kharif crop. Then the temperature required for cultivation is 21 to 30 degree Celsius, and the rainfall required is 50 to 100 cm. That means not more rain required. It can be grown up in arid and semi-arid area also. What type of soil required? The soil should be well drained black soil, or which is known as rigor soil. Okay, so what are the products we are getting from cotton? That is fiber, cellulose and textile. We are producing textile, oil, animal feed. Okay, India produces some important points. India produces 23% of the world cotton. 23% of the world cotton, that is organic, or it is organic or inorganic. But in organic cotton, India produces 51% of the total organic cotton of the world in an year. Okay, वर्ष को 23% ऑर्गेनिक एंड इनऑर्गेनिक यदि काउंट करा जिवो ताले वर्ष को 23% वर्ल्ड र कॉटन इंडिया प्रोड्यूस करछि, एंड इन ऑर्गेनिक कॉटन रे इंडिया 51% प्रोड्यूस करछि कॉटन. ओके, सो ऑर्गेनिक रे एटा काहे कि ऑर्गेनिक हला ना वर्तमान हाइब्रिड कॉटन भी प्रोड्यूस होछि बहुत कंट्री रे, बट हाइब्रिड कॉटन को छाड़ी की जो कॉटन रहेला सेटा को हमें ऑर्गेनिक कॉटन बोली कहू, है ना. सो इंडिया इज द सेकंड लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर ऑफ कॉटन इन द वर्ल्ड, लार्जेस्ट कंज्यूमर ऑफ कॉटन इन द वर्ल्ड, एंड थर्ड लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर इन द वर्ल्ड, थर्ड लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर ऑफ कॉटन इन द वर्ल्ड. Top 3 cotton producing countries, that is China, India and USA. So in production ground, India is the second largest producer. Top states producing cotton in India. Which are the top states that in India that are producing cotton? So Gujarat is first, second is Maharashtra, third is Telangana, fourth is Andhra Pradesh and fifth is Rajasthan. Okay. Further, there is a public sector unit for cotton, namely Cotton Corporation of India. कॉटन को परचेज करवा, कॉटन को सेल करवा, कॉटन को डेवलप करवा पई गोटे पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट अच्छी जोटा ना हला कॉटन कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया. When it started in 1970. It is also a mini Ratna company under textile minister. Cotton Corporation of India comes under which ministry? Under textile ministry. And the headquarter, where is the headquarter situated? The Cotton Corporation of India, it is started in 1970, old, but its headquarter is situated in Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra. What is its main work? The main work of Cotton Corporation of India is to operate the minimum support price. For cotton, it purchases cotton from the farmer for government. Okay. So the next question is, Nobel Peace Prize 2020 has been awarded to which of the following organization? Nobel Peace Prize 2020. Okay. So option A, International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN. Option B, Oxfam. Option C, World Food Program, WEP. World Food Program, WFP. And Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Okay. The answer is C, World Food Program. The Nobel Peace Prize 2020 is given to World Food Program for its efforts to combat hunger. World Food Program was awarded the prize for its efforts to combat hunger and for its contribution bettering conditions for the peace in conflict affected area. Conflict or affected area रे peace condition को maintain करिवा and hunger को combat करिवा होची effort. So here we discussed 20 questions with answers. Thank you.